Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Talk Network channel, and also to Steve's Wrestling Ramble here specifically. Hopefully, I have both my co-hosts from my entire team here at Steve's Wrestling Ramble: Kyron, Chase, Mark, Rambo, and Palmer J. Simmons part of this show. I am going to assume I'm going to have most of them, if not all of them, part of this episode next week for Steve's Wrestling Ramble, the big episode, the big show that I've been promoting and hyping up so much for weeks, because it is going to be good, that awesome, and that entertaining. It is SummerSlam, the WrestleMania summer for WWE SummerSlam 2017 edition. Our prediction show next week, same time, same channel, the whole team, along with a great plethora of guests that you plan to have on. Some already confirming that they will be here, like Mounties Corner and OTR Essential, hopefully, and then others that have some maybes. If this was a Facebook event, those would be going, and other ones would be maybes. I have gotten a couple of no's, so, I'm not that special. People aren't able to, whether scheduling or otherwise, which is understandable. But you plan to have a full house here in the Google Hangouts and have a great evening next week. So definitely, if there's a show you want to wait for or want to watch for the very first time, coming from, other people's channels, fans of Mark Ramble, Kyron Chase, OTR Central, Bite That Cast, other guests that might be part of the show, that will be the first video you might want to see. Just like WrestleMania last year, with that prediction episode that was off the charts. Still I think it's still in the top 5 of amount of views. Even though I believe my Star Wars: The Force of Evil video that got my first 1K views, that WrestleMania show for my wrestling side of things, I got the most hype at that time. I had Joe Cronin on for that show, of the Joe Cronin Show. He was a guest for that episode, along with others at that time. At that time, I didn't have a team, but I did have a good amount of guests for that evening for WrestleMania 33 prediction episode. Or was it 32? Well, whatever it was. It was a pretty awesome episode, and had some great guests there. So SummerSlam next week, that prediction show, it's going to be off the chain. It's going to be awesome. So you don't want to miss it. I know Mounties Corner is going to be promoting it in a video here soon, so I will send that on my Twitter. I'll retweet his, if he, puts it on YouTube. Puts it on his Twitter, along with obviously on his YouTube. I will make sure to pass along with our big group chat we have on Twitter. Again, follow me on Twitter at WB_podcast, as I'll have updates if, episodes are late or things like that going on for the show. Also, I want to give my weekly shout out to Bite That Wrestling Podcast here on YouTube. Again, that is Bite That Cast Wrestling Podcast here on YouTube. They go live each and every Wednesday evening. This Wednesday evenings, 7 p.m. Central, 6 or 7 p.m. Central, they go live there on Bite That Cast. And then also Lazy Booking Podcast, Billy and Heel Chrome over there and their team. So definitely check them out also on YouTube. Subscribe to them, ring their bell, know when they're going live and when their video is posted, and all that other fun stuff. And also, if you subscribe here to Kyron Chase or anybody else, do the same, ring the bell, and know when videos are going live. And without further ado, let me welcome my co-host for the evening, Kyron Chase, an NFL fan of the Baltimore Ravens and other things. Hope he's enjoying his team, because his team, I don't know. We'll see how the Ravens do in the NFL, but here in wrestling, I know he's pumped for SummerSlam. So, what's up, Kyron?
What's up, Steve? Yeah, I am definitely pumped for SummerSlam, especially next week's show. And as much, I'm gonna get my usual good performance on this show, but hopefully I can give some of my best analysis and even comedy for next week. So, I'm gonna do great on the day, but I cannot wait for next week's show.
Oh yeah, Kyron's gonna be bringing it next week. He's gonna be on his A game. He's gonna also have all his ducks in a row. He'll probably have pen and paper. He'll have like 2 pages of notes or stuff, so he doesn't forget things, because he's going to be on the ball, not just because it's the prediction show and he's always on the ball each and every week. So that's not saying he's not in other times, but when it comes to SummerSlam or WrestleMania, we all want to, me as a host, be better, shine brighter, because you might get a lot more new eyeballs, new people to the channel, to the video specifically, and you want to put your best foot forward for their first impressions, for those that might be watching that episode, that video on this channel, being their first video that they experienced, because they came from OTR Essential channel, Bite That Cast channel, Mounties Corner YouTube channel, other channels, other fan bases coming to the lion's den over here, so to speak, at Steve's Wrestling Ramble, whether it's one night only or they plan to stay. That's up to them, obviously. That's their that's wherever they want to go. But hopefully they do stay, and hopefully I do my job as a host and us as a team do our job to give a great first impression. But you
Steve,
can't please everybody, but we will certainly do our best.
Steve?
Yes?
I gotta go for one quick second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Do what you have to do. But as I was saying, definitely want to check out, especially Bite That Cast and Mounties Corner. Mounties Corner over there is having a contest going on. So go over there to Mounties Corner's YouTube channel. Also check out Bite That Cast. I said each and every week Wednesday they go live. And I would like to say it's because of me, because of this show, why they're going live. Not because of competition. I don't mean it that way, but because they saw me going live and I was successful for others and decided, hey, after watching Steve's Wrestling Ramble a few weeks ago, they decided that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and now they're going live. As much as that's probably not true, I would always like to think that's true, that I was, in the end, the reason they went live. But either way, it's going well over there for By That Cast, and they're doing great things as I've been watching them each and every week live, whether they know it or not, whether I'm commenting in the live chats of theirs or not. But again, check them out. Check them out on Twitter at Bite That Cast and Lazy Booking Podcast on Twitter at Lazy Booking PC. Mounties Corner at Mounties Corner now on Twitter, or him specifically, Eddie_RKO on the Twitter. So I like to promote others as much as I'm trying to grow myself, because I feel you want to treat those as you want to be treated, right? So if you want shout outs or making friends in the business, which is sometimes in pro wrestling as a wrestler, let alone as a broadcaster and talking wrestling, hard to do because everybody's quote unquote out for themselves, which to a degree you kind of have to be. But the other way, I like to be kind of and give shout outs and give help to other channels that whether they need it or not, because some of those and most of those are bigger and better than ours. But it's always good to be kind. If anything, kill them with kindness and be kind to one another, because in the end, those are the ones that will achieve above the other ones that are not pure at heart. And the only one to know that is the Lord above. But anyways, let's get off that diatribe and let's actually talk wrestling. Monday Night Raw. Again, as I usually do here during the weeks, I talk about Raw and SmackDown live on specific reviews for those nights, and sometimes my team members make it or not. But still, to bring it up here on this show, I don't know if there's anything else left you want to talk about Raw, because I know you were part of the review. But if you want to, for this audience, you're welcome to bring anything else up extra, or if not, we can move on to SmackDown Live.
There's not much I really need to talk about Raw. I mean, I think after rewatching the show we did and watching Raw a second time, I feel like I myself was just a little bit too negative. I didn't like the show, and I was halfway asleep, so that could be a part. I mean, I still stand by everything I said. I didn't really like a lot except for the last man standing match and the match between Cesaro and Dean. But I feel I was just a little bit too negative. Granted, I still didn't like the show. But and other than that, I really don't have much to say about Raw.
Yeah, same here. Not too much as well. So we'll move on to SmackDown Live, because I do have a plethora of news items to talk about after the show. So SmackDown Live, your thoughts on the 2-hour show and how you think everything went over there.
Well, I don't think neither Raw or SmackDown this week wowed me. Granted, if I had to pick, SmackDown was the better show. I love the Fashion File segment yet again. I was in tears laughing. Especially when Arn Anderson showed up. I was watching like, what the hell is Arn Anderson doing? That had me laughing. The opening segment, I thought was okay. Corbin still has a little ways to go on the mic, even though it's a possibility he might cash in at SummerSlam, but I'll save what I think about that for next week. There wasn't any matches that I think were truly amazing. I like the tag team match between the Usos and Ty Dillinger and Sami Zayn. And I meant to tweet about this, but I might as well say it now. I feel Zayn and Dillinger should be a tag team on their own, because neither one of them are doing anything on their own, and they work well together. So why not? They're both Canadian. I think that'd be a pretty good team, give them both something to do. I love the edge the New Day showed after the Usos match and threatening to bash them with chairs. And some people said they didn't like it. I said I enjoyed it because it shows they actually do have some edge, and that stops them from getting stale. I didn't really enjoy the Orton and Mahal segment match that much, because really, like I said, I didn't really enjoy any of their feud. This was one of their better matches, and the ending of Rusev kicking Orton was pretty good, especially how it just faded to black right after it. But the segment of the night for me was the Owen, Shane, and AJ segment. I thought Owens was gold on the mic. And they actually did bring something up. Something they never do is for anyone who's a babyface, they don't never bring up like actions they did in the past of the heel. Kevin bringing up how Shane screwed over people before, and all three men have had beef with each other at one point. So I thought that was a pretty cool story element going into SummerSlam's match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I agree. There's info. I'm looking here in the live chat. Mounty's Corner, one of our guests that will be next week, and will be a spotlighted guest for the review show that will be right after SummerSlam. I know maybe Kyrie and others won't be able to make it because it's late in the night after technically 6 hours of programming on the WWE Network, and because, well, there's also, I think they're having the Mae Young bracketology show immediately following the WWE SummerSlam pay-per-view. So whatever reasons they might not be able to, but I know Mounty's Corner will be joining me. So if anything, it'll be me going one-on-one with the Great One, or one-on-one with Mounty, and me and Mounty's Corner talking SummerSlam and reviewing everything there. As much as, again, we do review on Steve's Wrestling Ramble the Thursday after each and every pay-per-view on Sundays. But he's saying here, could read a couple of his comments first. He's saying, what's up to both of us? Fashion Police is the best thing on TV right now. Big time, because he was hearing the start of the show. Best Mania theme ever. I'm checking the beginning of your videos now, and thank you for the shout out. So those are his comments there. Any respond to that, Kyron or Mark?
I'm cool with most of the stuff he said. I disagree with him saying Big Time is the best Mania theme ever. I think that goes to Green Light, especially from this year's WrestleMania. It's one of my personal favorites. But then again, biased because I was there.
Okay, that's understandable.
I like WrestleMania 27's theme, even though I hated the show. And WrestleMania 24's theme, I love as well. That's my first personal favorite WrestleMania of all time. So I'll say those three. Oh yeah, and WrestleMania 19 and 17's theme of especially they played over the Rock and Stone Cold's promos before the match. Those are my favorites as well.
Okay, and Mark Ramble, I know you just joined here, so welcome. But if I don't know if you heard what I was talking about from the live chat with Mounty's Corners chiming in, if you have any response to that as well.
First of all, I just want to say how you guys doing. It has been forever since I've been on this podcast, and I am extremely sorry. I told you guys the situation behind it, but I heard something with WWE themes, and probably specifically WrestleMania, if I'm just trying to clarify it. Are you asking?
Yeah, Mounty. Well, I'll just do this again. Read what he was writing here. First, he was saying, what's up to us? Then Fashion Police, the best thing on TV. Then he was saying Big Time, the theme I'm using for today's episode to start and finish. Best WrestleMania theme. That's what he was talking about. And then he was thanking for the shout out, and he'll be checking in the beginning of the videos for the music and the shout out. So yeah, that's what they were talking about. Or he was, Mounty's Corner, about Big Time being the best WrestleMania theme ever.
Ooh. I think I hopped right in the midst of it with Kyron's whole opinion. I think, honestly, I'm going to have to agree with Kyron. I think, this year probably took the best in my position because not only was it catchy, but it was a good song. I also like 24 as well, WrestleMania 24 song. Yeah, I had so many different songs, but the song that I liked the most from 24 was Red Hot Chili Peppers' Hey-O. It was also called Snow, I think. But yeah, those two balancing out, they're pretty good to me, but I'm gonna have to take this year's theme song as probably the best that I could think of, or my generation, let's just say that. And Limp Bizkit's My Way. I can't remember which WrestleMania it was, but it was definitely Limp Bizkit.
17, I believe. He is 17 and 19.
Yeah, I think it was 17 because if I remember, that's the song that I loved and continued because I think they used that not just for the show of Raw, but specifically for the Austin Rock match.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Package, My Way. And
I love that song.
And 19 was Crack Addict. That's what I had him mixed up.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Limp Bizkit I love that group though. By the way, shout out to Limp Bizkit.
But anyways, so Mark Ramble, what were your thoughts on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live this week?
I'm going to start off with probably the most viral thing that we've probably seen so far, and that is the Braun Strowman Roman Reigns last man standing match. I know on my channel I've been really, really absent with Raw and SmackDown videos, but I did see that match, and I was not expecting it to be that good. I thought it was hilarious when Braun Strowman threw he didn't like smack him with it or anything. He threw that chair at Roman Reigns, and it was like, what the hell? Was that like botched or something? Like I was not expecting that. It was a really good main event, and overall, I know, and I also heard a lot of people let's just say Vince was a little upset with the reaction that Bayley got when she came out and did the little thing. I think Kyron, were you the one who sent me the link or sent something in regards to that? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I did actually, and I'm along with Vince. You can ask Steve the way I was on the review Monday. I was legit pissed off about it. I wasn't happy about that.
I think the thing with it is, and we can't lie, this week, let's just say this week is a perfect example. Canada has some crazy fans. If you guys watched Tuesday, we'll get to that for SmackDown, but it was some stuff that they were doing there too. It's just, they are wild fans. They were booing Bayley, and that is something I'm surprised about because maybe it's just in Canada, it's a different environment. They don't like the, baby face, everything's going to be all right type of character. And that's what it seemed like to me. I like Bayley as, I'm not the biggest fan of the gimmick, but to boo her like that, I don't think was like super cool. But it was a lot of highs, it was lows in it as well. It was a good week. Let's just say that. I thought it was an excellent week. And then Brock Lesnar just does what Brock Lesnar does. Just kills everybody. It's like, oh, I thought overall it was a great week of wrestling.
For sure. So I guess moving on to SmackDown Live, since me and Karen already talked about Monday Night Raw in the review and a little bit more here on the show. So Mark Ramble, what are your thoughts, I guess, overall and individually for SmackDown Live?
One thing I could say was the Randy Orton Jinder Mahal match should have not been a main eventing match for Tuesday Night SmackDown because it just wasn't, for the most part, Randy destroyed Jinder Mahal, and I'm really disappointed in Jinder Mahal's title run because at first I was like, okay, it's somebody different. Jinder Mahal, who is the last person you would have expected to get the belt. And then, they're not giving him these solid wins. They always have somebody saving Jinder. You had the Singh brothers like 1 trillion times. And then you have the Great Khali out of nowhere, just comes for one night only and saves Jinder Mahal after, a 50-year absence. I'm exaggerating a little bit. But he's not giving him a solid win, and that's like the only thing that I have a problem with. If they could give Jinder Mahal a real win, a real push, give him matches where he's actually winning with people who could, put up competition against him, then I could say, okay, this guy could be a champion. But recently, he's just been, I don't even know. It's kind of disappointing. But off to the next one. I did like the way it ended, though. It ended with Rusev, considering the fact that they're going against each other. Randy Orton and Rusev going against each other in SummerSlam. The thing I wanted to talk about, though, about the Canadian fans. If you guys saw, it was Charlotte versus Lana. and
I already know where you're going with this, bro.
Yep. It was technically, you could consider this botched. But they were, maneuvering in the ring, and Charlotte's pants kind of went down, let's just say that. And you could see the crowd react to it. And they're like, oh, shit, this and that. And everybody's just going insane. And now they have a "Thank You, Lana" chant going right after that, and I'm just like, wow, they are some raunchy ass fans. It was just, I was just in shock. I didn't even know what was going on until I rewatched it. I saw it on YouTube, and I saw the reaction and saw what really happened. I was just like, wow, that's what I'm saying. Canada has some crazy fans. Canada has some very, very crazy fans. But it was a good week of wrestling. That's all I'm gonna say. I enjoyed both shows.
Well, that's good. I mean, as I said in the review for SmackDown Live, I say SmackDown Live did better than Monday Night Raw this week.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, as bad as Monday Night Raw was, SmackDown Live could literally do anything, and they did something, and they had a show. So the only way Raw was going to beat SmackDown Live is if they had to cancel the show because of weather or whatever. That'd be the only way, at least to me, because Raw was that bad. And not just me saying that, most other podcasters and others and just fans on social media saying that about Monday Night Raw. Yeah, it has its moments, but most of it people weren't watching or doing other things, or if you were looking on Twitter, seeing some of those responses and things. As Kyron tells me to never go down that rabbit hole to see what's going on there. Michael Andrews here in the live chat giving his rankings of title importances here in World Wrestling Entertainment.
Ooh.
He has number 1, the U.S. title. Number 2, the Universal title. 3, the SmackDown Women's title. 4, the Raw Tag Team titles. 5, the WWE Championship. 6, the Raw Women's title. 7th, Cruiserweight title. And 8th, the Intercontinental title.
Where's the SmackDown Tag Team titles again?
He does not have it here on his top 8.
Oh, wow.
Cruiserweight title should be dead last. As much as I love Neville, and he should still hold the title forever, they're not doing anything with it.
Yep.
I don't think the IC title should be that low, but granted, they aren't doing anything for the Miz, and he'll probably defend it against Jason Jordan at SummerSlam. U.S. Universal SmackDown Women. I don't think the SmackDown Women's title was number 3. In honesty, I would put the. Honestly, right now none of the titles feel important except for the U.S. and Universal, because they're not doing anything with anything else.
That's the reason I asked where's the SmackDown titles. I think it should be up there, considering the match that they had, Usos and New Day. I mean, that was the highlight of that pay-per-view. I feel like it could move up at least a spot. That's why I asked where was the SmackDown Tag Team titles. The Raw Women's title. You see, that's iffy. I think it should just remain the same. The SmackDown Women's title, however, should be dropping because once again, Naomi's getting no legit competition. Carmella, if anything, should just cash in the title now. Cash in the briefcase now because they're not doing anything with it. And then we got the return of the GOAT himself, James Ellsworth.
Boo!
So, I think it should go down a spot. Carmella is definitely going to cash in that briefcase sooner than later. Or maybe, Tamina will do something. I don't know. But, yeah, it's going to go down a spot. Just a spot or two.
Here's one thing I feel, and a lot of people brought this up. This is about SmackDown's booking. They made Carmella a little stupid. She she beat Naomi. Why not just, if she had her down for the count once, why not just cash in the briefcase, beat up a little bit more, and then win the title right then and there on SmackDown?
They're probably gonna do it when you least expect it.
But if they do it at SummerSlam, we're all gonna expect it.
I don't even think she's gonna do it in SummerSlam.
I already made it, and I'm the jabroni over here that made the bold prediction of both Mr. and Miss Money in the Banks successfully cashing in at SummerSlam. So I see a new WWE champion Baron Corbin and new SmackDown Live Women's champion Carmella, both of them leaving SummerSlam. When SummerSlam goes off the air, 2 new champions in that way. So that SummerSlam 2, let's just say the Smarks out there is a good show because you have something like that. You have 2 cash-ins and both of them actually being successful, and both of them happening at and on the same show. So that certainly would be big news talking points and this and that for people in WWE. And Monty's Corner chiming in here saying both cashing in, man, that would be a new one. Yeah, it would be. But we get talking. You get, as WWE likes to have, whether the pay-per-views are good or bad or whatever, that they have those big moments or stuff like that keep the needle moving, or as so to speak. Talk around the water cooler, whatever. With WWE fans, podcasters like us and others, talking about that for the next weeks and whatever, being a memorable moment for that pay-per-view and SummerSlam. I mean, it's freaking SummerSlam. It's the WrestleMania of summer, summertime party for WWE. And to have something like that hasn't been happened before, obviously, because there wasn't a women's Money in the Bank briefcase, so there was no missed Money in the Bank. But certainly would be interesting. I might actually do. I'm thinking about this, and I know Mounty's Corner and some others got me thinking about this. I might be doing live reactions to the title matches at SummerSlam. I might even do reactions for most of the matches, just not in continual live reaction, meaning I'm not going to live react to the whole show all 6 hours because I guarantee there's going to be more boring points in that 6 hour, broadcast. So I might just do matches, title matches or whatever's, and just chop them up there. And that way with live videos, as I do each and every time. For those that are first watching for the first time, all my videos I do are through Google Hangouts. So I have to create a new Hangout or create all the Hangouts that Sunday morning. And then obviously do live reactions for those matches in whatever order that they be. So bite that cast in Mounty's Corner for that idea to do that. But anyways, yeah, that would be interesting. I think someone was trying to speak before I talked about Mounty's Corner. I don't know, was that you, Kyron, or Mark that was going to say something about a double cash-in?
I was going to say something about not really technically a double cash-in because I might save that for later. But I feel that for SummerSlam, there are way too many names not on the card. First off, Sami Zayn, Ty Dillinger, Charlotte.
Ding, 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 ding. Right on the money.
My wife, Becky Lynch. She's not on the card.
Your wife.
And like those are just a few other, like, why aren't these names like Charlotte, Becky, Sammy, Ty, and a lot of other people not on the card?
And just think about this. You might, and I don't mean to stop you, I'll let you continue, but think that we might also not have Sasha Banks if she loses in her hometown and on Raw. I know, crazy to think, because we all
for
think
the second time.
But she loses there in her hometown in Boston, Mass. Nia Jax wins, and they go with what the original plan was. Don't forget, guys. The original plan was for it to be Nia Jax against Alexa Bliss, and for some reason they shook things up a bit and decided to have that sort of have Bayley win the number one contendership there. So maybe they actually go that way. So if that does happen, as of after Raw, at least at that moment, Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks, two of the best in pro wrestling in the women's division, in my opinion, would not be on the WWE SummerSlam card.
That, my friend, I have a problem with.
We know, because the way I feel about Becky being my wife, that's how you feel about Sasha. So we know.
Amen. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, it would just be crazy if that was an actual fact. If that actually does happen, and neither Sasha or Charlotte are on the card, if that's the case, and you don't have Sasha become the number one contender to face Alexa Bliss, which most still think that's going to happen. I know from Sasha Banks fans that I've interacted with on Twitter and just seen their tweets on Twitter, especially after that match on Raw, that they're hopeful and thinking that for sure she's going to be a lock and she's going to win it. Never say never. You still might have her lose. It's a WWE thing to have superstars lose in their hometown, right? So that definitely could happen, and we might have Sasha Banks not on the card. But if that be the case, I know fans aren't big into just throwing shit to the wall. Well, so we might have Sasha Banks versus Charlotte Flair at SummerSlam just because they don't have a match and they don't have anybody to face. And they're two of the best, so they deserve to be on the card at all. So to throw them together isn't a terrible thing, and it's not like they need to build. They're Sasha freaking Banks and Charlotte freaking Flair. So that'll do it for themselves and their own fan bases, and it would be great watching. And in a match like that, think about that. If that actually happens and they just randomly put those two together in a match and them stealing the show and actually be what I think they would be if that was to happen, they would be, for me, probably match of the night for SummerSlam if they did that. So even without a build or a storyline or anything, since they are on separate brands, but hey, you have the brands together. It is SummerSlam. It is the WrestleMania of summer. Might as well do that if you're not going to do what most of us think is going to be done, and that being Sasha to beat Nia Jax some way, somehow, come hell or high water, and face Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam. Because I know they also brought up at on the show, bring it to the table there about that. So certainly be interesting if that was not the case, if it doesn't end up being Sasha Banks. And if it doesn't happen of Charlotte and Sasha being thrown together in a match for SummerSlam, I don't know. You have those two off the card, and it's not best for business.
It's crazy because they could have an alternate plan to this being let's just say Sasha Banks does win in her hometown. She goes to SummerSlam and all that other stuff, and she wins the belt. Maybe that's when she could turn heel on Bayley, and then they could create a feud from there. I mean, you can't say no to that because that would be a cool plan, a cool idea, because everybody's been saying at some point Sasha's going to turn heel on Bayley, and she's not going to, be all friends and stuff with her anymore. And that could create something that could possibly be a good feud. Never say never to that, though. But at the same time, I can see Sasha Banks losing to Nia Jax, and Nia Jax going against, Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam. And once again, I could definitely see Nia Jax being champion. And it's going to happen sooner than later. But I think it'll be a great idea, though, if they do allow Sasha Banks to win the belt and then she turns heel on Bayley, and then we have something else in our sleeves.
Yeah, and definitely, we want to talk about, with these whole live reactions or what I might, at least again, I'm thinking about it just like I am for SummerSlam to do a live reaction for the Nia Jax Sasha Banks match on Raw, because not only my own reaction, because I know I talked about on the Raw review, and I might want to get Mark's reply and Mounty's Corner and others in the live chat of my stance that I talked about Sasha Banks, because I was kind of upset with her of WWE planning to have her win there and being here in the finals to see if she goes, and this whole idea that she's going to be the one to face Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam, and I'm like, I kind of want to see someone else get a shot here. Well, Sasha Banks is great, and as I said, one of the two best in WWE and pro wrestling overall in women's wrestling, but that doesn't mean she needs to be the John Cena of the women's division. And that's kind of what I said. Sasha Banks is slowly becoming the John Cena of the women's division, in my opinion, where I think this spot deserves to be someone else, and Sasha will get her chance, whether it's WrestleMania or a pay-per-view in the future or whatever, because she's not going anywhere. She's not losing any steam. She's not going to become a jobber. She's not this, and she's not ever going to be that again. She's made. She's main event for the women's division. But here for SummerSlam, I think plans should go what they should have been originally, and I mean originally, with Nia Jax to face Alexa Bliss and Sasha getting her turn down the road. Again, maybe building up to Sasha Banks Bayley matches WrestleMania. One of them will be heel. I actually think and thought, since Bayley with her losing streak and everything, and where they were booking her in the last couple of months, still even up to this point, her being the one going heel to face Sasha Banks. But either way, however that goes, it certainly will be interesting. Another thing that's great, and Michael Andrews actually talked about it earlier in the live chat about Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins being the best thing in WWE. Well, that's sure, because Dean Ambrose, he's my guy. He's cool. I'm a mark of his, and definitely will, was on the edge of my seat on Raw just as much as I'll be this coming Raw, hopefully, when it happens with the whole Shield fist bump thing and them United being a tag team, maybe winning the tag team titles at SummerSlam when that match might be. I'm going to assume it's going to be officially announced on Raw this week on the Go Home show. But either way, hopefully those two capture that. And then maybe down the road we get the full Shield reunion. But for right now, 2/3 of it is better than none. But I also want to read here from Michael Andrews in the chat. It makes me sad to say this, but Becky may need to move to Raw to get the spotlight she deserves. We SmackDown loyalists must lose another soldier in this valuable war. Hard to let go. But Michael's saying that Becky Lynch may have to go to Raw to get a more of a spotlight and better chance. Well, Monty's Corner talking about Nia Jax would be a good idea. Banks needs to turn on Bayley because Bayley is lacking crowd pop.
Agreed.
So, but certainly going to be interesting. However, in which way that cookie crumbles that way. Also, there is this other show I think I've heard that's going to be in Barclays near SummerSlam. I think it's NXT something takeover, whatever. NXT takeover Brooklyn Part 3. Because they're Drew McIntyre against the champion Bobby Roode with the best theme music ever. Well, not ever, but at least of this generation, this era. I mean, number one overall might still be the Undertaker's theme, and then The Rock, and then Bobby Roode. But still, either way, top four: Undertaker, Rock, Bobby Roode, Triple H, and Triple H's theme with "My Time." I think this is called "My Time." That theme music, not the game or King of Kings. "My Time" theme song with Triple H and my top four. Exactly.
I love that song.
It's always good to agree with me. So, but anyways, either way, I mean, it doesn't hurt. Either way, looking forward to like I've been bloviating, but for a reason. Next week's going to be a can't miss episode for everybody to check out. I will be, technically us all will be back on camera, our individual cameras, so you get to see us live in living color, our smirk faces and reactions to each other's comments, eyes rolls or otherwise, and stuff like that. So it's gonna be great. Also, Ronch and Mikey will be joining the show for a one time only to be part of the big celebration, the big party. I know Kyron was amped up to hear about that last week in that announcement to have his friend of me there, part of the show. So that's going to be awesome, along with Bite That Cast, a representative, or maybe the whole team, Mounties Corner, OTRS Central, and some others maybe joining us and shall be joining us for that big bash. But I just want to let people know that I'm making my grand return on camera next week. I have theme music already planned for the start and end of show. I have, as I even said on Twitter, for my team members here, Kyron and Mark, and my guests, their own theme music. When I introduce people next week, it's going to be a longer introduction process because when I introduce each person, team member or otherwise, I'm giving them their own theme song that I chose for.
Oh.
And you know me, I'm attention to detail, or I picked this theme because either you love this superstar or hate the superstar or dislike, maybe not hate, or this and that, whatever reasoning. You know, I know when I'm picking, or I noticed something when I did see you on camera in a poster of somebody or something, like these little things that I notice that, okay, maybe I'll pick this theme for this person. So I already have Mounties Corner. His is already ready to go. What I'm going to pick for his. So everybody out there, that's what I'm going to be doing next week. A little, flair thing. I'll jazz it up a little bit in that way, bells and whistles, so to speak, my own touch that I thought was going to be kind of cool. Each person getting their own theme. And whether they like it or not, they'll deal with it. And we'll go from there. So that's something also, I guess, to look forward to find out what I picked for Kyron Chase and Mark Rambo that I have here tonight. That's pretty much it for Raw and SmackDown Live. Now, just looking at the chat here to see if there's anything new that's being brought up. But let's go into the news, WWE news of the week. And the first one I want to talk about is about the rumors of WWE to have 2 superstar shakeups and getting rid of the draft overall. So that's the rumor plan for WWE moving forward. Get rid of the draft and have 2 WWE shakeup event thing, whatever, mabobs, and not have any drafts, not have any other ideas that I thought would be cool, like having trade deadlines or trades at all or this and that, or maybe they still could, but having that as their out storyline wise for if a talent they don't feel is doing best on one brand to the other, contracts quote unquote expiring on one brand and so they can jump to the other, like Jack Swagger technically, or they're here in the brand extension. So what are you guys' thoughts on this rumor of to have 2 superstar shakeups and getting rid of the draft altogether?
Oh man, I don't know. Really, I like the draft, but the way they're doing the draft now, it just doesn't feel the same. The shakeups were cool. I'm not gonna lie. I thought the shakeups were all right. I could live with the shakeups. But to have two, you're saying two in a year or just two? Like just two period.
Two per year, either calendar year or two per WWE season, meaning night after WrestleMania to the next WrestleMania.
Oh, I don't know, man. Two a year? Man. I don't know. At this, man, it's like asking me apples or bananas. That's a really difficult thing to like because to have two superstar shakeups, it's like you can't even build a solid champion having two shakeups. You know, you can't have a baby face long enough to be the cover of Raw or SmackDown when you have a shakeup coming in like next week. I don't know, man. I don't think that's the smartest idea. I should honestly say a shakeup a year, one shakeup a year, because then it gives you like that. It gives you a cover. It gives you somebody to be the cover of your brand, and then it gives you time to build your superstars without worrying about the next quote unquote shakeup where that guy you were just focusing on is going to Raw or going to SmackDown. It just wouldn't make sense. I think it should just be one shakeup. If I were to be in charge of it, but hey, we're talking about Vince McMahon here. He doesn't care about us.
Or he does when it's convenient to. But
yeah, when money's involved.
Money talks, makes people walk. So either way, certainly would be interesting. Kyron, what are your thoughts on this rumor? And what would you advise to Vince McMahon if you were in a meeting with him discussing this?
Well, as someone who still supports a brand split, I wasn't really happy with the original Superstar shakeup. For one, I thought just breaking the rosters up in general that so soon wasn't the best idea. And if you were gonna do it, and they usually do a draft, that's how it used to be, do the draft like the week after WrestleMania. Why not just make it a draft? Why just grab some superstar from one show and some from the other, switch them? Why not just do the thing of having Kurt and Daniel? It doesn't have to be all authority figures. The Raw after the a week after WrestleMania, have Kurt and Daniel at the podium and they pick new stars from each show. I think that'd be more entertaining. And why do it twice a year? Granted, it's a shakeup and not a draft, so I'm not really looking forward to it unless it helps helps wrestlers out instead of hurts wrestlers in the long run. But I'd rather just do how the original draft did it. The original brand split back in the early 2000s did it. A draft the week after WrestleMania, and that's just in a supplemental draft if you must over the next few weeks for lower mid carders. But I don't think doing another superstar shakeup is the best of ideas.
Yeah, I agree. That's where I want to go. I want to just have it simply once a year. You have the draft that, whether it's after WrestleMania or after Backlash, let's just say, or something around that time, after the WrestleMania is over, when you start the new season, right? A new WWE season, as I call it, not after WrestleMania to the next said WrestleMania. So you shake things up at the beginning of a new season, kind of like really with the NFL or NBA, with technically happening before the season, but still, getting into semantics there. But point being is, you have that. Then you have it once a year. You have it around the same timetable, so that WWE fans like us, whether on Twitter or otherwise, and whatever media that they can, or medium of talking of, well, who do you think is going to be drafted? What's going to be the shakeout of this and that, and our predictions and everything leading up to that said draft, and having it annually and having it on the same time, just like with YouTubers and having videos and scheduled for each day and each week, so people know at this time, this day, for this channel that you are a fan of, you're going to get this type of content from this YouTuber. Well, in WWE, each and every year you have the WWE draft at whether it's maybe not a specific day because that fluctuates. But point being, around the same time, and then fans can schedule and plan around that and do predictions around that, and have that just once a year, each and every year, and shaking up things from there. And then beyond that, having a trade deadline. WWE likes to be like sports. Like I said, they're going to have the Mae Young bracketology. They had that for the Cruiserweight Classic, I believe, as well, a bracketology show to get to know all the competitors and athletes, part of that. So that's like, the March Madness bracketology before the NCAA men's basketball and women's basketball tournaments. They have bracketology shows for both things, an equal opportunity. So the WBE taking that and having that for the Mae Young Classic. So they take things from sports, from the main four and the real sports there, and taking it into sports entertainment here. Why not have a trade deadline or something like that they can fidget around with and use that as their, like I said earlier, as their out and as their storyline thing if they want to in kayfabe of having a superstar going over to the other brand, or like I said, contract quote unquote expiring on one brand to jump ship and surprise they're over on this show. How would that be? Oh, well, I just heard that his contract was up over and over there and blah blah blah, and now he's here. So however they can take it off and go from there, like they did with Jack Swagger, as I said earlier. So having stuff like that and having a draft once a year at prescribed time each and every year after WrestleMania next WWE season, and having that just by itself, I think is great. Now, if you absolutely have to have a shakeup 6 months, 7 months into the season, fine. Like a mid-season thing, I guess if that can be promoted correctly and done well, and the shakeup done well itself, like they technically did with this shakeup that they had, the WrestleMania was actually pretty good, in my opinion, how they did it with just surprised that they were there. Some didn't like it. I actually enjoyed it in that way, especially with Raw starting off. You get The Miz and Ambrose, and that's how you have them both there. First you see The Miz, and then I was also surprised to see my man Ambrose there because, I guess we're continuing this feud over from SmackDown to Raw now. So the little things I did enjoy. So if they have to have that, you have one draft after WrestleMania. If you have to have a superstar shakeup 6 months later after, we have faces of the brands for, more than 3 months, would be nice. And then you have that shakeup if you have to. If not, have the draft annually and have trades and otherwise. So what do you guys think of, as I was rambling about that, my idea for what I think should be in the future, if you think that's buzzword or anything, because I don't know, because maybe it also depends on when they're going to do these shakeups, if they do go this route or however it does be. Any extra thoughts to say, either of you?
Well, I actually agree. Like I said, I just want them to do it one time a year. Maybe have a few, trade deadline, but nothing. Like maybe if they had to, a few trades, but nothing major. That's all I ask.
Okay.
I agree with you in a way. Like I said earlier, you can't build up your main face, the guy that everybody's gonna know, and the roster 6 month span, and then you have another 6 month span where you have to be concerned about shakeups where that guy is possibly going to go to the next brand. And like you said with Dean Ambrose, Dirty Dean, it was cool how they transitioned him from one thing to the other. It's gonna have its consequences. I think everything's gonna have a negative aspect to it, but just to have two shakeups just wouldn't be the best idea. You already got rid of the pyro, and that's pissing people off. You already got rid of what else did they get rid of? Because they got rid of like a trillion things.
Yeah, they got rid of
the budget cut.
And they got rid of network shows. I know I just heard actually another news item that I was going to bring up next, actually. Crap, now I got to find it here. But anyways, another show that got the NXT show that they actually started with their new commentator, who I actually knew.
Kathy Kelly?
But I knew, Kathy Kelly.
She's so bad.
I knew her because she was with AfterBuzz on YouTube and AfterBuzz Network and everything. And I had some interactions with people over there, actually with other shows, and then connecting with her and a different Rosenberg over there with AfterBuzz Wrestling Show. But anyways, her show with NXT Insider, I think it's called, not canceling at Axe today. So, things are being canceled and axed left and right. I know Renee Young got both of her shows axed.
That's a shame, man. You see, because shows like that, and I'm gonna just state my claim now. Kathy Kelly. I didn't really hear much about her name until I started watching NXT. And then she came into, she came and she got really interactive with NXT. She's on the YouTube channel. And she doesn't have that big of a platform. And the only platform that she really had was YouTube. And then you cut one of her shows off. It's not going to be very good for her. I mean, good thing she's still on YouTube and still doing the thing that she does now. But, she doesn't have that big of a platform. And to cut something off like that on her isn't the best idea, because then what are they going to do now? I mean, you can't be another commentator like when they're young, because there's about 1 trillion of them, unless they put her on, pre-shows or something like that. I don't know what you could possibly do.
Mm-hmm.
And then you cut the pyro. I think the pyro was a really, 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 really big mistake, in my opinion, because the pyro was something you look forward to when the show started. The intro comes on, and then you just,
especially
all
for
the special
Monday Night
effects.
Raws in the past.
Exactly. And then the show starts, the pyro hits, you hear all the explosions, and then you hear the crowd go crazy. It is nothing better than to be a wrestling fan and to see or be a part of that, with the crowd signs and everything going there and chant. It's a great feeling, and to take that off, it's like taking a part of a valuable part off of somebody. It just doesn't. It's not going to be the same. And it's going to be different. Maybe we're going to have to get used to it. But I don't know why they're doing these budget cuts when last time I checked, they're averaging about almost $1 billion a year.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just, business stuff. I don't know. But as a wrestling fan, that was a huge loss.
Yeah, that's true. And I see here in the chat, Mounty's Corner, I believe himself, being from Canada, saying, FYI, Kathy Kelly does the WWE commercials for Canada. So Canadian WWE commercials there. So, and also she has a web thing where she on WWE's YouTube channel, with was weekly news stuff and whatever. So she technically still has that at least. But beyond that, those little puppy stuff, she doesn't have much now, especially with the NXT Insider stuff gone and going away. You know what? Also, I enjoyed and watched the Kurt Angle collection on the WWE Network. Everybody, if you haven't seen it, if you're watching live or archived, check that out. It's awesome. I mean, Kurt Angle's awesome, but the collection is pretty awesome in its own right. Seeing great moments, but it kind of, in a way, it also made me sad watching it. Not because Kurt Angle's older now, because everybody ages, but because it was sad because seeing some of the matches from the old pay-per-views and seeing what those awesome sets look like. The sets for the pay-per-views, for the ones with Kurt Angle and other ones, obviously in the past. But the ones I saw, like the King of the Ring one, when Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon, that set for the stage there, that stage set was pretty awesome. So
I agree, man. I agree.
Yeah, and Mountain's Corner also elaborating here. He said during the Raw and SmackDown commercial breaks, he says upcoming live events in the Canada version or whatever during Raw and SmackDown. So, and obviously he knows because that's where he lives. And actually, well, sometime in the future, just heads up to the viewing audience out there. Maybe in 2018, whether it's WrestleMania or sometime afterwards, I might be over there. He might be coming here to Wisconsin, and we'll have a collaboration in person.
Nice.
Even though we're already starting our collaboration with the SummerSlam prediction show and then review, but in-person collaboration in the future. So
nice.
And then he also said Lesnar's entrance is naked without pyro. So
exactly. Boom. Exactly. He can't jump on the top of the ring. It just does not feel right. Like when he does the little jumping thing and then jumps on the top of the ring and boom, the little pyro things on the side come on. It just doesn't feel right. I agree with him 100%.
So, Kyron, what are your thoughts on all of this?
Well, like Mark said, I don't see what you need to cut budgets for, especially with the money you're making.
Exactly.
And I think I'm gonna probably miss pyro more than specialized sets, because I was used to saying sets weren't specialized anymore. But look at how many entrances were more important, or how many moments were made better do the pyrotechnics in WWE. For like, I think a lot of great pay-per-view celebrations. Someone won a title where, the confetti and fireworks made it look even better. And I got a feeling we'll probably still get like specialized things for WrestleMania, like pyro and stage for WrestleMania. But if that's it, it's gonna feel like not the same. One thing I always love, especially growing up with watching, like how much like you appreciate now as you're older, but growing up, how much effort they put into stages, no matter what the show was. Now all of a sudden you'll get a great stage at WrestleMania, and don't get me wrong, I love WrestleMania 33 stage, but what's the point? And seeing a lot of network shows get cut off, I don't see why that's happening. Especially talking smack and then not telling Renee Young or Daniel Bryan at all. I thought that was kind of messed up. And next they'll probably go to releasing some people. They just released Eva Marie. And while I don't like her as a wrestler, I never want to see anyone lose that job. I want to see who else they're going to probably release.
Yeah, and one version that I might think to be released, and this is the next, or technically going to be the next thing we're going to be talking about here on the news, is Dolph Ziggler. I think his time in WWE, at least to me, is up, and I just think that his shelf life, as I put it, in WWE is up because I've been hearing the rumors that WWE might be repackaging him, and the reason why he's not on TV because they just don't have anything for him, and they don't want to just insert him and put him in a match without any build for SummerSlam, right? So especially now that we're going to be only one show away, the go-home show is a Raw and SmackDown Live, and throw him into something. I mean, it's okay with Sasha Banks and Charlotte if they did that because they are who they are, but with Dolph Ziggler, and for me as a fan, they can try to repackage him or change his character or whatever gimmick. I just don't think anything will make me care about him anymore. I'm sorry. It's just, I think for me, again, the ship has sailed. His time is up, and his time is not now. It's time for him to go. And I think he might be one of the ones that might be released by the end of 2017. Unfortunately, I mean, I know there's a lot of Ziggler lovers, just like there are Sami Zayn fans out there. Difference is Sami Zayn, I think, actually can salvage, or however that actually means to people, salvage a career. But anyways, do something, turn around. But Dolph Ziggler, I think he's been in here so long, and it's just the shelf life, it just runneth thin, and it just has to go, because you don't want to be that one either in WWE, or at least I would hope you wouldn't want to be unless you're truly egotistical. But you don't want to be that one. They're still on the roster, just taking up someone else's spot and taking, and being a view that might have been better for somebody else. Don't be that guy. So that's my word of advice to Mr. Ziggler, that maybe it's just time to hang out the boots, and he can focus on other things that he enjoys, other passions of his, like comedy, I think, or something. There's other things I'm sure he enjoys, so he can focus more on that. So, what are you guys' thoughts on that at all with Dolph Ziggler?
The one thing I'm not so much scared of Dolph Ziggler, because I knew that years ago that he just was not working in WWE. One person I'm afraid of is Enzo Amore. Enzo Amore is just been on fire, and not in a good way. If you heard about it, first he had the altercation on the WWE tour bus, and then he got what people call the Miz treatment, where he had to dress outside of the locker room. Now we have if you guys aren't aware, there is a Buffalo, New York a stripper from Buffalo, New York, who technically exposed Enzo Amore, if this story is true.
Oh, it is, because I reached out to her and talked to her on Twitter.
Oh, wow. Okay, Steve.
It wasn't a long conversation, so I'm not that special, but it was a short one.
Hey, Steve making the moves, got the plans. But yeah, it's that was very much so shocking to me. If people keep finding out more and more and more and more, because Enzo Amore looks like a cool dude. He's 20. He's what 2017 all about, the craziness, the the shoe game, you know, just the height, just Jordan out completely. You know, all that is what 2017 consists of. It's all about the, you know, the looks, the confidence, all that stuff. You know, you get the point. But, you know, that's going to affect his character, period. I think Enzo Amore is Enzo Amore. I mean, his character, his gimmick is what he is in real life. I just honestly think that. And even Corey Graves said, you know, he doesn't like Enzo Amore, and he said he don't bring it to the table.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna affect Enzo Amore somehow, and I just think he needs to calm down. He needs to stop, just relax, because it's gonna hurt. Because I don't know what he's gonna do if he does get released, and it's a good chance he can get released because he's making a bad name for WWE. I like the guy honestly, but if he keeps doing that, they're gonna do something. They're probably gonna suspend him. I don't know. He probably smokes weed too. They're gonna fine him. Hell, they may even fire him. They may release him. So that's the guy I'm concerned about the most. He's not like the super big in wrestling. You know, he's not the most athletic. He's kind of like Santino Marella of 2017.
And he doesn't have that cachet like other superstars might have to be able to run their mouth or do something or be in pressed in negative light. And even in this way, I mean, I know it's not the biggest of negative lights, but it's still a negative light. And if you keep pissing people off in the locker room or on tour buses because you're braggadocious all the time, as it was in the situation with the adult entertainer, I just think that, you know, that continues on with him and he just keeps going on because that's his personality. And I agree 100%, 110-fold with you, Mark, that his character on TV is what he is in real life. And for some, it rubs the wrong way, and for some, they like it and it's cool. But it seems like more than that, it's rubbing the wrong way. And if it continues, especially in WWE locker room, and if it seeps into management to start, you know, disliking him, and the fact that he's now, you know, they split up Enzo and Cass, the tag team, and he's really going to be muddy water, you know, in the in WWE. Where is he going to go? And I know he actually just posted on Instagram that he gained a pound. He's now 206 pounds, so he can't be at 205 live. So he knows what's up. So I guess for him even talking about that, he might have to be released if anything for being a chaotic nuisance in WWE, really, and just not being good for the company anymore. And it's just, and again, it's not because of one overall bad thing he's done, like or murder conviction or anything like that, but the little things going into big things, right? The snowball effect. You know, you keep having these situations keep happening, whether with coworkers in WWE or, again, outside of it as well, that in time, all the little things in totality and in total, just making one big giant negative thing that could get him released randomly. Again, no one's above the WWE, just like in the NFL, no one's above the Shield. The NFL and WWE, you know, Enzo, especially Enzo Amore himself, he might be he might be with Dolph Ziggler on the outside looking in.
Agreed.
Kyron, what are your thoughts on the subject matter here?
I honestly could see Enzo leaving because all the drama he's causing in real life, and even on TV, it's starting to become really annoying for me personally. And you guys pretty much said everything I could have said. Some other refs I think could be released as other Canellises because they're not doing anything with them, and they flop for me personally. And I'm scared about this, but it might just happen. What if they release Sami Zayn?
Oh my God! Please don't.
Oh my goodness! I mean, besides Katrina going crazy on Twitter with us on Twitter, Katrina the Good, but besides her, there'll be other Sami Zayn fans out of the woodwork. Just go on Twitter, search Sami Zayn on that day, and you'll see a lot of angry tweets there. But you know, I'm not saying it can't happen. Obviously, anybody can be fired at any time. But Sami Zayn in his situation, are they going to place him? What are they going to do with him? Maybe, you know, he might. But that'd be a shocker.
Sami Zayn is unfortunately the most poorly booked wrestler there is right now. I think he and Rusev should have got title shots, legit title shots by now. But Sami Zayn in particular, just there's no way that this man should have not been champion at least twice. At least twice. It's just poorly booked. It's sad too because Sammy is a gifted wrestler, and we all know that. When I see Sami Zayn in the ring, just the intensity, the energy, just the passion he has in the ring, it's fun to watch him. But he's just been so poorly booked. It's just sad. You go from I don't know shit NXT with what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. And then you go all the way to Mike Kanellis and Maria and whoever the hell Mike Kanellis is. All I know is Maria. It's just sad, man. He's just been backstage doing jobber matches. I mean, the Ty Dillinger thing, I don't mind, but after that, he just needs to get a push. It's almost irritating me, man. Because the first time I saw him, it was Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn going against each other. And I mean, it's not the first time I saw him, but it was the first match that I legit watched through all the way. And it was a great match. It was Shinsuke Nakamura's debut. I think I still have this video up on my channel. And it was an excellent match. And I was just like, wow, let's see what this guy does in the main roster. And we fast forward, I don't know how many years, 2, 3, 4 maybe years ago. And nothing's happened. This guy's been technically a jobber. It's sad. And he needs a push, man.
One thing I do want to, one thing I want to bring up here, I know it's brought up having the Canals being released. That'd be tragic in a way of okay, you brought Maria back, you brought Mike Bennett into WWE and as Mike Kanellis, and you're gonna release them shortly after being here. And is that really that much of a flop? I mean, that'd be crazy. Here, I want to go to Mounty's or to the live chat because Mounty's Corner has something to say in the question. He's saying he's predicting that Sami Zayn to get a push post SummerSlam. He has a feeling that he should go for the US or IC gold, especially IC. And then he's also saying Zayn versus Cesaro for the future as well. Well, the only way we're going to get Zayn and Cesaro is if it's at a Big Four event because, one of the Big Four pay-per-views because they're both on different brands, right? Or Sami Zayn's on SmackDown, right? Or is he on Raw?
He's on SmackDown.
Right, yeah. And Cesaro's still on Raw because he's one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions. So Zayn versus Cesaro might not be able to have it for a while, but I understand what he's saying there for Zayn getting a push and being on SmackDown Live, then he'd be going for the U.S. title. So that you never know. Maybe they are going to do that for Sami Zayn after SummerSlam, but if not that, I don't know when and how they're going to push Sami Zayn if they're not going to be doing it anytime soon. And again, like Dolph Ziggler, the Canellises, or whoever else may be at least on the chopping block, let alone if they are to be released. But here, also I see here WWE Stars celebrating 20 years of DX, 20 year anniversary of DX and WWE.
Yep.
Making me feel old, but still it was the heyday with DX. So any thoughts on that and any memories of them?
Oh, my fond memory was, I guess you could say my time of the DX, because my era of the DX, or D-Generation X, keep it like that, DX, whatever, was not your time, Steve. Your time was more of when it first began, the raunchy, butt ass, get the little public service announcement thingy that they had. And sometimes I wish I was born, a little earlier. But one memory I do remember was the shit that literally they dropped shit on the Spirit Squad and Shane McMahon and all those guys, and it was legit. It was really, turd. And I remember watching that with my brother. It was just one of the really early memories that I had with them. And I also remember the Hell in a Cell match with it was Big Show and Vince McMahon, and it was a lot of good memories that I had with them. And Shawn Michaels kicking the little girl in the little restaurant thing. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh, that was mad funny.
That was hilarious in my opinion. But it's a lot of good memories I have. I could go on, but I don't think it'd be anywhere as close to Steve's, because Steve's was in the heart of the Attitude Era. So I'm gonna take it to you, Steve.
Oh yeah, the heyday back when as I'm gonna be that old guy, when I'm older, because I'm to most people I'm old now, but when I'm actually older, I'm gonna be that old guy talking about it. Everything was better back in the day, and I'm starting now because I do say the '90s being the best era of everything: music,
TV
professional
shows,
sports,
cartoons.
and cartoons for kids shows when I was younger with That's So Raven and other shows when I was growing up. I do shows when I was in high school. I started like in the early 2000s, Still the Future and stuff that was out. But anyways, with D-Generation X in the 90s and being part of that awesomeness up in that late 90s and part of the Attitude Era and the great moments there, and especially with Sergeant Slaughter and DX and just saying whatever they can and really kind of trying getting away with things that you didn't think would have been gotten away with at that time, because WWE needed to change things, shake things up, literally. That's how the Attitude Era actually happened. Otherwise, Vince McMahon would never went that way, because WWE was actually being competition and actually doing something, actually beating them once in a while at that point before the 52-week win streak or whatever week win streak that was later on in the heart of the Monday Night Wars. But you had Triple H and Shawn Michaels, the founding members there, and like I said, the interactions there was Sergeant Slaughter, then WWF, World Wrestling Federation commissioner at the time, his role there on TV for the show. So that stuff was hilarious. And then that post-service announcement thing kind of goofing on Bill Clinton or President Clinton. His thing there, so stuff like that, entertaining, and then all the great matches DX had throughout the years. Too many to really even mention, but just I don't know, just that era, that time in my life. Again, not just because I was a kid, but just being the '90s and being awesome all the way around, and just the generation. I actually had a young Undertaker, The Rock getting in the swing when he was he first came in as Rocky Maivia with that silly little costume thing he was wearing when he was starting off in his very first match. I think he even did a reaction to that on his own YouTube channel, a reaction to his very first match. And then was part. Then they had him part of the Nation, and then developed the Rock character. And then when he went heel, is when it went great. That's why people are always saying that's why Roman Reigns should turn heel sometime, because he could be just like his cousin The Rock, and kind of be in that path and that footstep of Dwayne Johnson. And when going heel, some WWE fans think that Roman Reigns could have and complete the journey of probably being one of the best in WWE and being a great heel, if in fact WWE does go that route. So, but in regards to DX, I'm never gonna forget them. Just as much as I'm never going to forget the memories of the NWO in WCW. Not that WWE NWO crap afterwards when they came to WWE. Because remember, or for those that do remember, understand if you're too young or you didn't, whatever. NWO, when they came back or when they were in WWE to be the Poison or Vince McMahon's Poison thing to WWE.
Awful.
They debuted at not New World Order, at No Way Out. At No Way Out in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, here in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee, in the Bradley Center. It was when they made their debut, the WWE version of the NWO. But I'm talking about the real NWO, the NWO from WCW time that was taking over WCW maybe do a negative effect, like you had so many members that it was just diluting that its own product of NWO. Maybe they should have had an NWO show or something with that. NWO, they had the red and yellow or red as well, the Wolf Pack and
Wolfpack,
Black
love that.
too. So the Wolf Pack theme song was pretty cool. But
Wolfpack is
but
gonna
DX
cause
20 years
mass
also
destruction.
in two, yes, and in 2 years, Chris Jericho actually will have his 20-year anniversary of his debut in WWE. He debuted in the year of 1999, so in 2 years he'll have his 20-year reunion, 20th anniversary of,
Greatest man that ever lived.
and that was the
AJ
greatest.
Styles, take that
That
back.
was the greatest debut in WWE history. I'd say that's number one to, and second being Kane. So I
Uh,
mean,
well, some of my favorite DX moments was when they. Well, first I'm gonna go through like my time of '06 when they impersonated McMahon's. That
Oh,
that I remember watching that with my cousin one time. This was on a DVD, and when it came to a certain part, we were crying, laughing. We could not stop rewinding it. But my little brother, he just told me to pitch this in. His favorite DX moment is when they went to Little People's Court when Hornswoggle sued him. I thought that was kind of funny. But it's funny how neither one of you, I must not, maybe I didn't hear it, but neither one of you brought up the greatest DX moment of all time, in my personal opinion, was when they invaded WCW on a tank.
oh yeah,
oh
definitely.
yeah, it completely went over my head.
I mean, I wasn't born for it, obviously, but obviously through DVDs, YouTube, and the network, I've seen it.
Right?
And that is the greatest DX moment ever. It's funny, and you believe both WCW and WWE, or WWF at the time, were in a war.
Yeah, I remember that. And I also remember hearing about backstage of WCW or some of them. I really thinking it was an invasion, like literally, like whatever. That was kind of funny to hear, but yeah, that definitely be the top moments. I can't believe I forgot about that. But also, I wanted to bring up, or the last news item, at least on my end here, Nikki Bella announcing that she will be returning at SummerSlam just simply to be there ringside to watch John Cena versus Baron Corbin. So hey, maybe we'll get a Baron Corbin Nikki Bella moment. Baron Corbin getting slapped or probably or something like that. But so look forward to that. That might happen. But what are your thoughts on Nikki Bella announcing that she's going to be at SummerSlam? I know you've heard rumors or heard rumors that she may make a surprise in the SmackDown Women's title match or afterwards, which could set up a Carmella cash-in or something like that. But overall, what do you guys think of Nikki Bella announcing that she will be there at SummerSlam ringside to watch John and his match?
It doesn't, I don't really care all that much. I mean, no disrespect. It doesn't really bother me in any way. They'll probably start this if she's coming back to the ring. They'll probably start a new feud with someone on maybe Raw. Because I think with John going to free agency, he's going to be moving to Raw to SummerSlam. Maybe Nikki's going to go over there too. She could start a feud with maybe Sasha or Alexa or Nia. Or maybe she'll stay on SmackDown and feud with Lana or Tamina. I don't know. There's not many heels I can see her really feuding with. And she already had a feud with Carmella. So I don't. I can see if she is returned to the ring, it's probably going to set up a feud.
Mark?
If she does come to SummerSlam, I'm not going to be surprised at all because last time she was hurt, the last time she was absent, she came back at SummerSlam. And also, this is kind of winding down between John Cena's career. Like he said, he knows he doesn't have much time left, and he's officially a part-timer. So anytime that John Cena comes back, Nikki Bella's going to come back. And it's going to kind of be the same way as John Cena. She's going to disappear for a little bit. She's going to come back. She's going to disappear for a little bit. She's going to come back. Because now she has the luxury. Because look who she's with. She's with John Cena. She could just retire at any point and then be set for life.
Yep.
You just got to think about the components in it. She doesn't really have to wrestle. I'm not saying that she shouldn't. I'm just saying she doesn't. I think she's coming back because she knows that she's not complete. She knows she needs to do something one more time, a couple more times, in order to leave and be satisfied. But her coming back, it's nothing new. I think it's just gonna be a couple months before she leaves. Because don't forget, they haven't even gotten married yet. So, and that also plays a role. You know, it's gonna be a couple months before she leaves again, and then she's gonna come back again, and then something else is gonna pop off, and she's gonna leave again. It's just kind of just like John Cena. So I'm not really shocked. There's not much emotion to it.
Mhm.
It's just she returns.
No, we'll certainly see how all that goes down. But again, that's just being my last, excuse me, news item for the week to talk about here on the show. So, Kyron, Mark, is there anything, Jordan, you want to bring up anything news or other related?
Ooh. Mm. Did you guys hear about Charlotte? The issue with Charlotte?
What?
Well, if you guys are still watching the derailing, disturbing, very failing GFW, aka TNA, aka Impact, aka Global Force Wrestling.
Never watched.
Yeah, well, according to the GFW Knockout, which is our version, WWE version of Women's Champion or Women's Wrestler, the champion, Sienna, has a beef with Charlotte because she's stealing the attire of Sienna, being the peacock attire. If you guys pay attention to
That's stupid.
Charlotte's attire,
Right.
they're pretty similar. And then also on social media, I think it was on Twitter or something like that, Becky Lynch and Charlotte posted a video up, and they were kind of like imitating or kind of playing a role of something else, and they had little pinkies up. And Sienna also is known for doing the little pinky thingy or whatever it is, from what I'm hearing. And so Sienna goes at Charlotte saying, I didn't pay attention to much with the attire and stuff, but now the pinky, if you want to steal my stuff, you could, just at least tell me first. And then the little pinky thing with the issue, she said, okay, now you guys, aren't responding. Maybe you're not supposed to because it's not a part of your script. It's in fact WWE, obviously scripted. So she's jabbing at Charlotte. She's jabbing at Charlotte over and over and over again. And Charlotte really hasn't responded, but post a picture with a peacock and Ric Flair and the Rose and different type of stuff, and it didn't tag her. It didn't tag Sienna in it because let's be real, GFW isn't even in concern. GFW is kind of like failing in a way. So I found that out earlier today. It's kind of stupid if I'm being honest with you guys. It's pretty stupid because Sienna isn't even on Charlotte's level. I understand, most of the time GFW, their women are kind of indies. So are their men for the most part. Sometimes they're indies. But, Charlotte is just born into that damn business. Like,
In her blood.
You can't really do much with that. So what do you guys thoughts on that?
Well, you hit it on the nose, Mark. She's not on Charlotte's level.
Yeah, she's just not on Charlotte's level.
So I don't really think anyone should care.
She's not on anybody's level. She's not on Emma's level. She's not on Dana Brooks' level. She ain't on Summer Rae's level. She ain't on anybody's level. So she can talk and jab and bark all she wants. Or they ain't gonna do shit. I'm sorry. It's just you can talk until she's blue in the face or until she, whatever. But GFW, WWE, you're waking a beast in that way, and you don't want to do that. Because this man could just buy your company, and you'd be working for him and begging Charlotte for to be kept on the roster. You know what I mean? So could go down that way. Karma, they say. But I'll let Kyron continue. But I just wanted to bring that up.
I mean, what's she gonna do? Try to take it to court for it? If the Hardy Boys aren't winning their lawsuit to get a broken gimmick, it would make you think. If she does think about it, but she's gonna lose obviously because Charlotte has the money, the power, the better supporting cast because Impact has the time can't even work on their own lawsuits. So what's she gonna do about it?
I just honestly find it really, really stupid. It's just not going to work. You know, Sienna is not on Charlotte's level. And if there was such a problem, do something about it instead of going on Twitter and trying to start a beef. You know, it's really dumb. Honestly, I just think it's really dumb.
I agree. Also, I heard she was saying stuff about the fans and the marks and stuff like that on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
I might have to look that up here as we're talking.
That is very dumb. I just think, and I've seen Sienna wrestle. Honestly, I've seen how she comes in with the attire. I've seen it all.
Is she any good?
Just Charlotte is just killing it. If you compare the two, Charlotte is 100 times better than Sienna. I just think Sienna is just a little picky. Just way too picky.
Yeah. I'm trying to find it here. I'm on her Twitter.
Oh, yeah. In the tweet, Charlotte is tagged. So if you guys want to see that. Just to give you a little hint or a clue.
Okay. I'm trying to find her tweet about marks and stuff. I know my friend over at OTR Central did a video about it specifically. But I want to find it so I don't mince any words or whatever, taken in that context. But it must be buried, or maybe she deleted it as everybody else does. So either way, she was talking about marks and of stay in your lane or whatever. But I don't know, just another thing to try to dig at. She uses the hashtag Pinkies Up a lot, so that's interesting.
Wait, she's which hashtag?
Pinkies Up, with the pinky up thing.
Oh man.
But, anyways,
I know this is a wrestling show, but did you hear about what infamous person on Twitter took a shot at LeBron James?
Oh, I actually did not.
Well, basically, I'm sorry, I can't get up. It was Mia Khalifa. She put out a tweet saying, "Good morning to I want to wish everyone a good morning except for LeBron James." I just fell out laughing when I read it.
Wait, did LeBron James respond?
Of course not. He's not going to respond to her. He has better things to respond to her. Trust me, that's the last thing he needs to do, because every time he tweets something, they're all over it, so he can't afford to respond to her.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. It might have been deleted. But either way, that was one of the other things. But if that's it for news from you guys, I guess we can wrap it up with another excellent show. Again, next week, don't want to miss out with the predictions for SummerSlam, as I will, like I said, have interesting for my team members and all the guests that are going to be part of this. Awesomeness. August 17th, next week, 7 p.m. Central Live. Start right on time, if not a few minutes later, of course, and going over the card and predicting, and probably will be a long show. So if you're watching live, not able to be part of the hangout, grab your popcorn and be ready to be entertained, because we'll have Monty's Corner, OTR Central, Raunchy Mikey, Fight That Cast, a representative, at least one, or maybe all three of them. Maybe Bubba J will be joining us, Billy, and he'll come over at Lazy Booking Podcast. So we'll definitely have a big group here to talk SummerSlam. And then after SummerSlam, when SummerSlam is over, after 6 hours of WWE programming, I will be going live with Monty's Corner, one-on-one, or if others do join, to talk SummerSlam right after, give our raw, real thoughts of everything that went down at SummerSlam, whether all the craziness or all the predictable things or whatever did happen at the event. I will, with Monty's Corner at least, we'll be talking up the show on that show episode individually. Also, I might be doing my live reactions to title matches during SummerSlam. I might also be doing one for Raw for the women's number one contender match between Sasha Banks and Nia Jax. So look out for that moving forward. So a lot of things here on this channel, along with obviously other channels talking pro wrestling next week, as it's pay-per-view week, and the pay-per-view being SummerSlam. And I'm sure other YouTubers will do reviews and predictions for NXT show as well. But we'll see if we talk about that at all over here. But I'll let the guys promote themselves. Over. Mark Ramble, we'll start with you. Let people know where they can find you on social media and also here on YouTube.
Okay, so guys, if you don't live under a rock, you guys should know where exactly to find me. My YouTube, of course, is FMLG Mark Ramble. FMLG simply stands for Macaroni Fruit Loop Gang. It's very original. No, right? Unoriginal. I take that back. It's a long story behind it. It's just a group of my friends. We are very goofy people, so we just came up with a very goofy name. And the channel, so you guys will definitely see them in the near future. We'll be doing a lot of videos with each other. It's a progress thing. The channel, the group, the thing is simply made by positive vibes only. We always living by positive vibes. We just, just making somebody's day better. If it's just making people laugh, making people smile, it doesn't matter. We want to do something in the near future to help people. So if you guys are really interested in that, you guys want to be a part of it, have any ideas, of course, my Instagram is Live Like Ram. My Twitter is Marcus Rambo. The M, the I, and the R are all capitalized. And my Snapchat, if you guys are interested in that, don't feel like saying it because sometimes I mess it up. It may seem simple, but go into my channel, click one of my videos, click my most recent video, and my Snapchat link will, of course, be in there. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, cool beans. Also, whenever I do get a smartphone, I'll definitely make sure to get a Snapchat, and then I'll be promoting that as well. I mean, that's the only social media thing that I'm not on. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Technically, also on Pinterest. So I'm on everything. Just need to get a smartphone, be able to be part of this phenomenon called Snapchat. But anyways, let Kyron Chase over there, let him promote himself, get himself over, and let people know where you find you on Twitter and on YouTube.
Find me on Twitter, /BroKyron, Instagram, /Bro_Kyron, DeviantArt and Tumblr, Kyron Chase, all lowercase.
I like the rhyme.
My YouTube channel is Kyron Chase, the K and C capitalized. On my YouTube channel, I talk about wrestling, obviously. Sonic, and My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And over next, and coming, and like I said on Monday, my next couple videos will be on a review of both NXT TakeOver Brooklyn and Brooklyn 2 as I get ready for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3. And I cannot wait for next week's show. It will be the biggest moment of my YouTube career.
I like it.
Hey, that's true. It's dang true. And it'll be a biggest one for me as well. Like I said, the WrestleMania one was well too, and I'm sure it will be for the next WrestleManias and the next SummerSlams. But for each of them, it's big because we get new different guests. And as we ourselves become, I guess, more popular or whatever, on this channel specifically, will open us to even more interesting, bigger guests as well. Down the road, you never know, right? Everything happens for a reason. So we'll certainly see how things go moving forward. But for me, you can find yours truly, the host here, CBK, on Twitter at WWE_podcast. Also at Army_Strong_06. Find me on Instagram. Yes, Instagram. That's what it's called. Instagram, StevieK_06. Again, StevieK, STEVIEK_06, where I'm trying to be more active over there. I'm kind of not at this moment. I mean, I've been on Instagram at least each day, but for different reasons. I mean, it's summertime and it's like other such things or whatever. But anyways, subscribe here, like this video, share this video. Next week, you don't want to miss it live. We'll all be back on the camera, dressed to the nines or at least to the sixes. We'll be on camera. We'll be ready to go, and we'll be talking SummerSlam. We'll be prepared. And we'll be going over the SummerSlam card, maybe even rambling about other things. You never know. You have to watch to find out where the episode drives us, because we all start driven by those that watch live and give comments or questions to us. So I do like to reply to everybody and read. It seems like every single comment usually on the live chat, and answer every single question that is asked there. So if you aren't able to make it and be part of the show itself with the Google Hangouts to have your voice heard, you're welcome to share your thoughts on things and even predict the show while we're predicting the show. Be part of the prediction battle for SummerSlam and give your predictions while we run through the card our own selves with the guests, and give your predictions and thoughts on things. Let us know where we're so dang right or where we're so off base on things, which is fine too. Always good to interact with people, and especially here in the pro wrestling circuit, whether they disagree. But beyond that, hope everybody has a great rest of your evening. I will be back here next week, Monday night, 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern, with the Raw review, whether it'll be myself or I, or with a team member. Either way, you don't want to miss that as well.
You do.
And above all else, as always, take care.
Don't want to miss next week's episode. It's going to be a banger. All banger. Bye.
Peace.